What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Ereslandy Lara. Ereslandy Lara confident, feeling like a monster, heading towards a debut at 160. Wow. Some people do needlepoint, others play board games, but Ereslandy Lara prefers an outlet with a bit more excitement, particularly when he helps pay the bills too. He quotes, "To be honest, boxing comes so easy to me, it's like riding a bike. I can do this walking in my sleep. I was just born to be a boxer. My focus is on leaving a lasting legacy in the sport, something I can look back and say to myself that I was one of the best who never ducked anyone. I'm fighting for my legacy. I have kids that need me, so that is my motivation. I have to provide for my children, and that's all the motivation I need. Champions don't hurt either. Though the belt he'll be fighting for this weekend is dubious at best. The now 38-year-old views the weekend's WBA world title opportunity against Thomas Lamana a stepping stone to something better. Better titles, better paychecks, better chances to boost his legacy. He also said, I think I've done enough to be considered one of the best Cuban boxers of all time. Winning a world title at middleweight will certainly help me get closer to the top of the list," he said. "Every fighter wants to be remembered for what they accomplish in the ring, and I'm no different. Like I said earlier, I'm fighting for my legacy, and I want to be remembered as one of the best ever to do it." Okay, now, he also states, "I've been fighting at 154 pounds for most of my career, and that I'm getting older. It's getting harder to make weight, but I still can fight at super welterweight if I wanted to," Lara said. "On the other hand, I want to challenge myself and become great by winning a world title in another division. I feel I'll be a bigger puncher at middleweight, and that will be the main difference. Having an extra 6 pounds behind my punches might not seem like a lot, but it's a big difference. Not having to lose those extra pounds have me feeling like a monster." Now, let me counterpunch. Ereslandy Lara is once upon a time was a very, very avoided fighter. He was one of the best fighters to do it. I think Lara was a little too good for his own good. A lot of times, a lot of those Cuban fighters are, Lara was once like the less hit opponent, like under Mayweather. So like between him and Mayweather, they were like the least hit opponent because they were that good that their ring IQ was that good. Like he said, I could walk around, I could box a boxing match in my sleep, and a lot of times his boxing matches would put people to sleep, right? But I think that Lara is a very good boxer. I think he needs to up the ante a lot, and I think a lot of the times he got draws because he didn't either know or care to show how to close the fight or end a round. And I think that Lara was one of those guys where he was always going to hit you flush. You could outwork Lara, but you could really never outbox him, okay? Because he was just that good. I would rather want him to fight Mayweather one day, but that's a totally different story. And now he's getting to the age of 38, and he's having problems making weight. I think that's the motivating factor behind that. If that's the case, me counterpunching Ereslandy Lara, as much as I love Ereslandy Lara's boxing ability, I think he is about 4 or 5 years too late. Why? He's 38 years of age, and now you want to go to another division. He should have thought about that when he lost to Canelo. He could have went there with Canelo and been an opposing comparison factor to Canelo when Canelo was there at 160. Not saying he could have chased Canelo, but what I'm saying, he should have put himself in a position right along with those other guys, the Gabe Rosados, the Daniel Jacobs, the Peter Quillins, who else was there? The Andy Lees. All these guys, Chris Eubank Jr., they were at 160. Billy Joe was at 160. All of these guys were at 160 pounds, and they would have been great fights for him. But he stayed at welterweight, super welterweight too long. He stayed at 154, and I wondered, okay, what is he doing? He's been talking that shit since 2014, 15, okay, 16. He's been talking that shit for the longest. Now you decide to leave because you're having problems making weight after you took a loss, which is what it was a very good fight with a unification with Jared Swift-Hearn. Jared Swift-Hearn is the type of fighter that puts the pressure on you. But the fight that he had the most excitement, he lost. In fact, both fights that he had the most excitement, he lost. One, he actually got robbed, which was the Paul Williams fight. The other, mind you, was Jared Swift-Hearn, and Jared closed the show with a knockdown in the 12th round. That's what won him the fight, okay? But I think the Canelo loss was a win because that gave him, they got him seven-figure fights. Now it's chopped down, and I think he gets older. He doesn't look like he's the same fighter. He doesn't look like the guy that's light on his feet that can take a walk around the block whenever he needed to, avoid punches, throw that right jab, land that left hook at will. He can't really do that anymore like he used to. I think he's more stationary now, and I think at 160, I think it's really quite dangerous for him to go to 160 at this point. And if his family's a motivation, I think he should try to join the commentators for like Deportes or something like that, someone, on a commentation Espanol level, where he can still make a check and still be in the sport of boxing, right, and still take care of his family. But at 38 years of age, it would be interesting to see what he can do at least one fight or two, maybe. But I wouldn't try to make a career up there and at least trying to go for a title at 160, because the only person that he could really fight is Triple G, which I don't know if Triple G would want to fight him now. I would like to see the fight because Triple G's 39. So they're around the same age. But going up against someone like Jamal, which is on his same platform, I don't think that would be very wise for him right now. As well as he knows Jamal, and as a matter of fact, he trains with Jamal. So, I don't know if he'll take that route. Maybe the Demetrius Andrade fight, maybe that would be a good fight for him. But I think he shouldn't be up there no more than 2 fights, if not 1. But anyway, again, I think Ereslandy Lara is still a good fighter. His last performance was, mediocre. But then what can you say about a 37-year-old guy? But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Ereslandy Lara moving to 160, supposedly, for real this time. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.